Hello and welcome to Voices of Parenting podcast. I am so glad you're here. My name is Mussi Diskin. I am an advanced nurtured heart approach trainer. I am a parenting coach. I am also an inner wealth coach, which means that I help people rediscover and connect to the people that they truly were all along, but may have gotten forgotten along the way. So to find out more about me and what I offer, you can check out mussidiskin.com, contact me through there, respond to this podcast, find me on social media. I would love to connect and I would love to hear your feedback. To sponsor a Voices of Parenting podcast episode, please reach out to energizinghearts@gmail.com. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Today we are back with my sister Chanie Volovik from Long Beach, California, who you all have heard and love. And we are going to spin this a little bit of a different way than we have in the past. As you all know, Chanie's a somatic practitioner. She does a lot of body work with healing, not healing emotion, but helping for emotional expression and expressing emotion and experiencing emotion. And we've talked about, handling our children's emotions and our own emotions and being highly sensitive and all of that amazing stuff. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go listen to our last episodes together. Today, I want to talk about something fascinating about Chanie's journey that really she'll talk about, but something really eye-opening and a powerful thing that I think really is a gift for the world to hear about and know, is that sometimes, maybe oftentimes, emotional stuckness can manifest actually in physical body pain. And that is something that through Chanie's journey, she has been able to heal and find out. And Chanie, I think you've also been able to help others with this too. So I'm going to be quiet now so that you can tell us about, how you came to understand this.
Yeah. Wow. I'm not really sure where to start. Basically, I'll just start in the beginning. I was just living my life, regularly, and suddenly I think I felt like I moved in the wrong way. Maybe I was doing an exercise video or something, and I fell to the ground and I couldn't move. It was the first time that I experienced extreme back pain. I was trying to reach my baby who was crying. I couldn't get her. I could not move. It was such extreme pain. I didn't know what was wrong with me, and that started years of on and off extreme back pain where I would have to lay in bed sometimes for up to a month at a time, and I would just be helpless and I couldn't move. And I went to doctors and they told me that I have a crooked spine and I shouldn't run ever again. I used to really enjoy running, and I shouldn't bend and I should wear special shoes. And I was always terrified. Oh my gosh, I have to be so careful. I have such a weak back. I'm going to ruin my back. And that was one of the physical symptoms that I had. I had many, but basically through somebody introduced me to the work of Dr. Sarno, which he explained how emotional pain can manifest as physical. And obviously, if you fall off a motorcycle or you break a leg, that's not emotional. So there's many different ways to know if it's emotional, if it's not. A lot of times chronic pain, something that doesn't go away, something that is constantly there. There's nothing physical that led to it. Many times is emotional. And he explained how by dealing with the underlying reason for the pain is just a symptom of repressed emotions. And so by supporting the emotions, the pain no longer is there. And that has been my experience.
So that's fascinating. Can you walk us through what that looked like to go from physical pain that's very obvious and acute to how do you know what's repressed? How do you find what's repressed? What does that look like? I have a physical pain right now. I'm in physical pain, right?
Yeah.
Where do I go from here?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say that the two reasons, just to go back a little, why physical pain comes to begin with. So one reason, I'm sure there's many reasons, but I'll just mention two. One reason is that when we have emotions that we repress and we avoid or we distract, which is normal, it can be hard to even, sometimes we're not even aware that we have emotions. We're busy, things are going on, or we are aware, but it's too painful to deal with. or it happened from years ago that, is pushed down inside that we're not aware of, whatever it is. Our emotions, they don't have words, right? They can't say like, listen to me, support me, take care of me. So they scream in other ways. And one of the ways that they scream is physical pain. So it's our way of our emotions trying to get our attention. Take care of me, listen to me, I'm here. That's one thing. Number two, our body is very smart and is here to help us. And our mind creates all sorts of coping mechanisms to help us feel safe. And when our brain knows that, let's say we're going through something really overwhelming or we're triggered by something and it's way too much and we don't have the skills or we don't have the support and we're not going to go there. But it's right here, right? I'm so overwhelmed by something going on in my life and I don't know, it's so scary. I'm shutting down. The body will say, oh, let me give you a physical pain so that you don't need to worry about that emotional pain. And now all your attention is on the physical pain to distract you from the emotional pain that you don't know what to do with, kind of to help you. Because if it's physical, okay, it makes more sense. I can rest, I can take medication, I could go to the doctor. I know what it is, as opposed to this big overwhelm that I don't know what to do with. So I just wanted to throw it out there, like why, some reasons why.
I think that second piece also kind of maybe opens a little bit of empathy and understanding for self-harm and the kind of soothing that comes from self-harm and why people would choose to do that like intentional sort of controlled pain that I know where it's coming from and can like know what to expect and can like be with it instead of being with this like super overwhelming, out of control, whatever it is that's causing me to want to do that.
Totally.
That's not necessarily the topic for today.
No, but it's important because yes, that self-harm and also any coping mechanism, codependency, addiction, anything really can be a way to avoid the underlying things. Physical pain is one of them. So yes, definitely.
What's fascinating about the physical pain that we're discussing today is that our bodies do it without our conscious, approval or consciousness at all. It does it for us, which is just fascinating how smart or advanced or like brilliant our body is, that even without our input, it like just wants to help us, which is such a sweet and beautiful way to like receive that love from our bodies and recognize that we make sense and that we're beautiful, even in things that maybe don't feel beautiful in the moment. So
Definitely.
again, so walk me from there, from like recognizing, okay, I have all this physical pain. There isn't a cause. I wasn't hurt. I didn't, there was no car accident. There's no reason for this pain and there's no solution. I tried different things and nothing's working. How do I walk from there to like finding what I'm distracting from or seeing what's repressed when I've done a good job at walking away from it. So how do I walk towards it? How do I find it?
Yeah. So for me, and for what I help my clients with, there are two main ways. The first one is, instead of addressing the physical pain, is finding ways to slow down and get in touch with, what am I feeling in my body? And there's many different ways to do that. Journaling, speaking to a therapist who can help you, being quiet with yourself and meditating in nature. Some people can do it on their own. Some people can't yet because it's something new or they're not used to it and they need support. Whatever. Everybody's different. Everybody has to find their own way of what works for them. But the bottom line is finding a way to slow down, to be able to hear the emotions in our body, get in touch with them, and let the emotions know that we're here with them and we can support them. And we don't need distractions because we can survive them. And the way that we show our body that we could survive them is by feeling them and supporting them and showing ourselves that we're okay. And it's creating a different relationship with our feelings and with discomfort, because when our body feels this is uncomfortable, get me out of here, it's going to create other symptoms to get us out of here. But if we teach, for me and with my clients, teaching our bodies, teaching ourselves, it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's not going to kill me. Our bodies know what to do with it. We have our heart. We have the love within us. We have light. We have validation. We have breath. We have nature. We have so many things in this world and within ourselves and, with the help of others. to support the discomfort so that we could survive it, so that we could be okay and we could get to the other side. And it's not about taking away the fear. It's about realizing that the fear is here because it's something learned that others and ourselves taught ourselves about emotion. But really, it's a learned practice as we feel our feelings and support our feelings. Like, okay, this is really uncomfortable. This is really overwhelming. This is really hard. That's okay. Of course it is, giving ourselves a hug, compassion, love, support, so that we can survive it. So for me, for example, when I heard about this, I journaled. I, made a session with somebody to help me feel my feelings. And then once I got in touch with what it was, I took time to support it, to take care of it, to sit with it, to release it, cry about it, whatever it was. And then when my back was in so much pain, I actually went on a hike up a steep mountain because Dr. Sarno says, like, to show your body that, like, you are okay. And I was kind of nervous because, you know, I do have these physical symptoms. I was told that I have a crooked spine and all these things, but I knew that it was emotional. I mean, it was clear to me. It made sense. And it was just clear to me after so long. And after a few days, it went away. And over, every time my back started to hurt, I was like, okay, again, that process. What's going on emotionally? Take care of it. I wouldn't take care of it physically. I wouldn't, lay down and be afraid to do things. I still took care of myself, and slowly it released and it went away. And then I had the same thing with my foot. I remember I started working at this new job and I was really nervous. I was feeling very insecure and my foot started hurting. I went to the foot specialist. He told me I had this thing, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, called plantar fasciitis. I hope that's the right name for it. He gave me a boot. He said it's very serious. It could take up to 6 months to a year to get better. I have to wear special shoes. And I was in so much pain, I could barely walk. How am I going to get to this new job? And then I looked up like Dr. Sarno and emotional symptoms, plantar fasciitis, and there were so many people with stories about how it was emotional. And I was like, okay, like I'm fine. I'm okay. Nothing happened to my foot. I wasn't doing anything. And I was like, what's bothering me? And I didn't even realize until I got the plantar fasciitis diagnosis that I was insecure, that I was feeling scared, that I was feeling nervous, that I was being hard on myself. And I supported myself through that. And I said, of course you're nervous. It's normal. We're going to be okay. Like, I'm here to support you through it, whatever it was I needed to do. And within 2 to 3 days, it went away. And I did not use the boot. And I'm not a doctor. I just want to put it out there. Like, if you have a broken leg or something serious, like it's very important. It's important to check it out. It's important to deal with it physically. But I'm just sharing my experience and other people's experience that I've worked with where it is emotional, that dealing with it emotionally does have an effect on the physical.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a practical kind of replay before I ask a follow-up question. So I'm feeling pain in my body. And actually, when I ask myself, what is my body feeling? It feels pain. Like I feel my back hurting. That's what I feel. The kind of to do or the next step would be to somehow find a way to get to my emotions somehow. Like, what is my body feeling emotionally? And like, that can be either on my own if I know how to do that, or if that feels like a totally scary jungle that I've never gone to, that I don't know anything about, to find somebody who that is their skill, helping people experience their emotions safely and work with them.
Yeah, and maybe I could just share an example of something that happened recently if people want to do it on their own, some ideas. So I had a friend over and she could barely get out of bed. It was very hard for her to walk. We wanted to go on a walk. She couldn't. We were just going to stay home the whole day. Every step, she was like, ow, 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 it hurts. So I sat down next to her and I said, okay, I had her breathe, and I did some exercises with her to like slow down and listen to her body. And I asked her, like, what's going on in your life right now? And she was going through a lot. I said, is there anything that you're nervous about or scared about? She was going through something that she felt very unstable and very uncertain about, and she had no control over. And, your feet, it's like your stability, right? So I said, okay, so you're feeling very unstable and you're feeling very scared and you feel like you have no control. I said, tell me more. If we can, this pain that you're feeling inside, let's give it a voice. If it could speak, if it had words, like what would it say? And she said, like, I have no control. I'm scared. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what's going to happen. So we went into those feelings. We gave it breath. We gave it permission to move wherever it wants to go. And then we said, okay, imagine we have love and support, unconditional kindness right here, giving everything that you need to hear. What would it be? And she's like, it's going to be okay. Just because it's not working out right now doesn't mean you won't find a solution tomorrow. I'm finding the right support. It's not going to always be this way. And, really supporting what the pain was there. Afterwards, I feel like I'm lying, but I'm not. She got up and she's like, oh my gosh, 75% better. And we took our kids to the park. And I'm not saying it doesn't instantly go away. Sometimes there's more that wants to be heard. But she said now that she knew what it was, and now that she knew every time it came up, she knew how to support it. She knew how to take care of it. She knew that she was okay. And so slowly it did go away. And even if it didn't, when it does come back, she knows, oh, I'm feeling this. Okay, that's okay. And let me give it the love and support that it needs. So I have a lot of stories recently and in the past, but that's just a recent one that, is really, yeah, just beautiful to see how with the right support, it can really help with your physical symptoms. So,
Yeah, and that piece about her understanding, what it was being so already healing. I feel like there's a like understanding is half the cure. There's the other half too, but understanding is half the cure. Where like if I have an issue with my stomach that it feels hungry every time I'm tired, that doesn't exist. I'm just making up the first thing that comes to my head. So I
exists for
believe
me.
I'm hungry every time I feel hungry. So I eat every time I feel hungry. And then I end up getting sick and constipated and overweight and just like so many issues because I'm eating. But like really there's something going on that I'm actually tired. Like the answer is to go to sleep. So, oh, I'm feeling hungry, but actually I need to go to sleep. Oh, okay. So let me go to sleep. Oh, like that might be a whole long situation of like where to sleep and how to get myself to fall asleep and all of that. Fine. We can work that out. But first, it's like knowing and understanding. And I feel like that's a huge piece that hopefully everybody listening to this will be able to walk away from, whether or not the actual supporting of your emotions feels like something you know how to do on your own or you've done before, or you even know how to access. Just that understanding of like, oh, if I'm looking in the wrong place, I'm never going to find it, So let me look in the right place. And that leads me to ask you, Chanie, there's many types of therapies out there. I know, you've probably seen your fair share. I've seen my fair share. I've definitely heard also about many other modalities that I haven't tried out. So there's different approaches. And in your experience, and then also I'd love for you to share your own specific training and what you offer to your clients in this, because I think it's connected. That's my guess. That's my educated guess is that I'm asking
Smart guess.
one question. What version of therapist or coach should I look for that in your experience is the most helpful in moving through this?
Yeah, it's a good question. So any type of somatic healing, somatic means body. There's so many different types. But our feelings are in our body. They're not in our head. Our head is what convinces us out of our feelings, what protects us away from our feelings. So I would say any therapy that speaks to you, I never tell people like this is what's for you. Like I feel like it's important to like check out different ones and see what feels right to you and try it out. If it feels right to you, go with it. If it doesn't, you can always change. There's many different things to try, but anything somatic that deals with the emotions in the body and kind of helping you come out of your head into your body, because like I said, that's where our stored emotions are, that's where our repressed feelings are, that's where we're going to be able to really take care of our emotions when we're dealing with somebody who's helping us get into our bodies.
Yeah. I'll just add, based on my own experience, that the main piece here is like how to get out of our head. Because I worked with someone whose main training was mindfulness practice. And ultimately, it led to many somatic experiences without her having that specific training or title, because she was getting me out of my head and into my experience.
Yeah.
So it's about really getting out of our, it's not about thinking our way through, analyzing our way through, um, yeah. So anything that's really taking you out of your head and into your experience, because like Hani said, emotions are an experience. So yeah, but take us back to what you were saying. You said there was something with parenting that you were going to bring us back to.
Yeah. So when my daughter says, I have a headache, I have a stomach ache, a lot of times I'm like, oh my gosh, let me take her to the doctor. And sometimes she's coming down with the flu. But when she isn't, a lot of times it's emotional. The other day she was, had a headache. She was feeling nauseous. She was saying, I'm sick. I'm not feeling well. It turns out there was a situation at school where somebody was bullying her. And it was coming up physically. She did have a stomach ache. She did have a headache. And then once we dealt with the underlying reasons of what was going on, and I had to, speak to the teachers, talk to her, she wasn't even aware that it was connected. And once we took care of it, she felt better. So a lot of times too with our kids, they might not say, I'm scared, I'm overwhelmed, I emotionally I'm struggling. They'll say, I have a stomach ache, I don't feel well, I don't have energy. So it's just, something the emotional piece is so important to know so that we can, it's like a cue, like, oh, let me see if there's something going on emotionally here.
Yeah, and I'll add to that that the approach to that, and you've heard this in all of Hani's talks, and today I'm sure as well. But just to reiterate, the approach to that is, once I find that underlying thing, where I want to get to is for that to create more safety and more soothing, so that it's not a threat or a scary thing, so that their nervous systems and bodies can feel calm and not need to run or create physical pain. So it's not about fixing the scenario and making sure that nobody's ever mean to her in the rest of her life and getting
If I
angry
could, I
about it
would.
with her,
Yeah.
we wish we could, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like when we take what they say and we make it bigger, and it can feel empathetic because we like, oh my goodness, that's crazy, and then we're actually validating to them that their experience is dangerous, is bad, is horrible, and they're right. They should feel very, very scared, and they should very much shut down and run away from this because this is very dangerous. So I want to make sure I'm not sort of melting down or losing it with them, but that actually I can be that space, that healing, soothing space. And again, listen to Hani's other podcasts with me and her own podcast
And
to get
like I
more.
said, I mean, that's very hard to do. And the only way I'm able to do that is when I take care of my own feelings about my kids' feelings, which is an ongoing everyday process that
Yeah.
is not like so easy,
Yeah.
but there's support out there
Yeah.
for that.
So this was so valuable, Chanie, and I have good news for everyone listening. Chanie actually has recently gone virtual as well. So she lives in Long Beach, in Southern California. For sure, she's an incredible resource, but also she's been doing phone sessions. So Chanie, tell us, basically what I'm saying is Chanie's an option for you if you're looking to process emotions and get to the core of things. Chanie, tell us your training and what you offer.
Yeah. So I was trained in something called emotional release therapy or Amine, which is basically just a way to get out of your heads into your body, and through like breath work, music, meditation, different questions that I ask, I help people to get in touch with stuck emotion that is in their body and help them understand it, listen to it, support it, so that it no longer has to scream so loud in other ways.
Yeah, I love that. So if people want to reach out to you and work with you, what should they do? How do they find you?
So they can email me, reclaimyourvoicepodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook, Live, Love, Inner Peace. Also, you can reach out to me, text me, or call. My number is 650-575-3567, and I would love to work with you.
Fantastic. Yay. Thank you for bringing your experience to the table here. And I'm excited for the healing that will come with it.
Thank you.
Hey, wait, don't go yet. Take a minute to find the beautiful quality that you have, that you appreciate about yourself.